Good afternoon, fellow Rotarians and guests. I would like to welcome all of you to this weekly meeting of the Rotary Club of Makati. So may I now call the president of our club, President Peter Manzano, to call the meeting to order.
Good afternoon, fellow Rotarians, our lovely aunts and guests. I now call this 25th regular meeting of the Rotary Club of Makati to order.
We are now approaching the highlight of our program for this afternoon. So we would like to call on Rotarian George Barcelon to introduce our guest speaker. George?
Yeah, thank you, Fred. Good afternoon, President Peter Manzano, our fellow members, aunts, guests, and District Governor. It gives me great pleasure to introduce our guest speaker today. He's a good friend of mine. His name is Colonel Noel Detoyato, who I call Colonel Toots. That's his name that those who are familiar with him call him. Okay. He started his quest for knowledge early in life as a consistent honor student in his elementary days and a consistent scholar in high school at the Mindanao State University in General Santos City. He went on for his college education at the University of the Philippines in Diliman. His pursuit of educational challenge led him to the Philippine Military Academy, a dream school of many young men. His colorful career in the military started when he graduated from PMA in February of 1990 and was commissioned as second lieutenant assigned to the 35th Infantry Battalion of 61D PA in Carmen, Cotabato, occupying different staff positions. For him, taking every opportunity for professional growth and self-development. He underwent several military trainings in a variety of disciplines, including basic marksmanship and information management, intel, peacekeeping, and several trainings in Australia. He finished his general staff course at AFP CGSC, joining Class 65, graduating with honors and receiving the Best Speaker Award. He is presently completing his Master's in Management, majoring in Public Administration at PCU, and his Master's in Foreign Service at PWU. Prior to his present designation, his military career led him to numerous tours of duty as platoon leader, company commander, public information officer, chief media affairs officer, deputy administration officer in the office of the chief of staff, UN military observer in Ivory Coast, chief public affairs, and assistant chief of the staff of civil military. Colonel Toots assumed command of the 16th Infantry, Malilingkot Battalion, 202nd Infantry Battalion, and the 2nd Infantry Jungle Fighter Division on July 1st, 2010. This designation carried with it huge responsibility that included internal security operations in the whole province of Rizal and 2 municipalities of Laguna. After his stint as BATCOM, he was designated as Group Commander of the Information Development Group and later as Chief OACPA and spokesman of the Army and Chief and PAO in the AFP. In the performance of all these functions, he continues to strive for excellence, earning more distinctions in his already prestigious military career. Colonel Toots is a recipient of numerous awards, topped by a Wounded Personnel Medal, Combat Commander Badge, numerous military merit medals, military commendation medals, long service medal, different campaign medals and ribbons, UN Service Medal, an array of plaques, and commendations, both from the military and civilian groups. To think that he was born only in 1963, for somebody still young to have so many accolades and achievements. He's also an avid golfer, accomplished shooter, coach and trainer who has won numerous local and international awards. And the most significant of which was the Army team's overall championship trophy in Brunei. I know him well because I'm one of his students in the marksmanship, in the we call high power shooting. So we learn a lot from him. And I'm sure this afternoon, with his breadth and depth of intelligence and security, all of us will learn a lot on how to prepare ourselves in this time of pandemic. So with that, our guest speaker, Colonel Noel Detoyato. Thank you very much.
Hello, good afternoon. Good afternoon, fellow Filipinos. I have so much experience in interacting with Rotarians since I was also a guest speaker once in the Rotary Club of General Santos City. It was also regarding security and update on security matters around General Santos City. I just arrived yesterday from Mindanao. I stayed there for 15 days. And I was able to go around and see the how the security situation in Mindanao is holding after the uh, consummation of the peace talks between the government and the MILF. And I was able to go to places where I used to go there when I was a second lieutenant, wearing my combat boots. And from there, I was able to assess that after 30 years of peace and security operations, it is bearing fruit. But today, we will be limiting our topics to home security, because if every home is secured, that the overall total of security of every homes will become the total security of the community. If every home is secured, then the whole community is secured. So it is really like the building blocks of society. Our homes are part and parcel of the building blocks of community security. I would like to share to you the slides that I have made. I made it very simple, no pictures, so that we will not be overburdening the network, because I am aware that today is school day, so there are so many students and teachers who are online. So I'll start my share with you. So for security, national, local, or home security, it is always better if you are one step ahead. One step ahead of the village or our adversary. So what is home security? It is home security is a system of barriers placed between the adversary and the object of protection. For this lecture, in this case, our homes. So there are three aspects of security: the physical security, personnel security, and information security. So those are the three main components that we have to look at before we can say that our homes are secured. What are physical securities? I'm pretty sure most of your homes have alarms. But there are some homes who disables their alarm because they always experience uh, false alarms. So most often than not, they disable the security alarm. So always determine what sets the false alarm, because it's the your alarms are useless if you don't arm them. So always set your alarm. It's part of physical security. There are five types of physical security. There are the natural security. Natural. We also in the AFP we also take advantage of these natural barriers. These are cliffs, rivers, um, thick foliage, and mountains. They are barriers, natural barriers. So if you build your rest house in a cliff, you only have to watch for three other sides. So there are natural barriers that we can take advantage of. And number two is the animal, or criminals are always afraid of our furry friends. They're always afraid of dogs because they cannot predict what the dogs will do. And when the dog starts biting or barking, it is a natural alarm for everybody to wake up. We also employ this one in our detachments, these natural and animal alarms. The goose, the ducks, the chickens, the dogs are our allies during the night because they make a lot of noise when strangers comes near our camp. So if you have dogs, guard dogs, you are lucky because they are our animal and furry friends that the criminals are afraid of. And most of your houses maybe have human security. So if you don't have the natural or animals around the houses, you have human security. Uh, but human security have limitations because in my 33 years of career, I always catch guards sleeping. So you always have to be on the lookout for these security guards who sleep during their duty, including soldiers. I always catch soldiers during their duty. They doze off, and it is a weak link on human security. Structural. We always have uh, fences, but there is a specification of fences that are not that becomes a barrier because some not all fences are barriers. It must not be less than 8 feet with 2 feet of barbed wire on top. So if you live in a subdivision and you have an 8 feet fence with additional 2 feet of barbed wire on top, uh, you will look like you're inside a concentration camp. So for gated communities, usually they only have that on the perimeter fence. And another aspect of structural is the perimeter lights. You have to take advantage of the low cost uh, solar powered lights nowadays that you can order online. And it is a barrier for criminals because they always do their thing in the dark. So if you have those solar lights that turns on automatically when it's dark and turns off and charges when during the day, take advantage of it, especially on your farms and on your residences. And another kind of physical barrier is the energy or energized barrier, the electrical fences. In the subdivision where I am living now, I saw one house with instead of barbed wire in on top of his fence, he installed an electrical barrier. So it is a powered by electrical barrier. So those are the types of physical barriers that we can install in our homes. For the structural again, going back to the structural. When you have an alarm, always set your alarm and always update your locks. Update your locks is when one of your households who is holding the key is no longer employed by you. You have to change the lock because you never know if they made a copy of the lock that is existing in your house. So always update your locks and secure your windows. The window on the second floor that is unlocked is not safe. If you are living in a community that has high percentage of akyat bahay, and always hide your valuables, keep your keys in a safe place, you invest in smart lighting, and never make it obvious when you're away. When you're not in your homes, never make it obvious. So later on, we are going to deal with that with in the social media, and always check your security regularly. It doesn't mean that you have a blue guard on your gate. Every time you come in, he just says, "Good morning, sir." When you go out, you say, "Goodbye, sir. Ingat, sir." That is not enough. You have to talk to him regularly because sometimes they don't update you on some extraordinary things or activities that are going around in your subdivision. So you have to talk to them regularly and also update them on the current security breaches. Personnel security. So screening of the employees to determine their suitability before hiring them, and you have to conduct a background investigation. It is your responsibility as employer to conduct background investigation. Background investigation doesn't mean you have to go out and be like an operative. There are so many tools in background investigation, like the filling up of application form, which involves, among others, former employers, present address, the relatives, the provincial address, and reason for leaving the last employer, or reason why there is a gap in his employment, and the red flags during filing of application form is a blank space. If there is a blank space that they cannot fill in, that's a red flag. And if they don't sign the application form, or they don't put the date when they signed the application form, that is a red flag. You always have to see to it that all the needed spaces to be filled up are accomplished. And interviews. These are tools for your background investigation that you can do yourself. Application forms and interviews. And if you can, and go out of your way and contact somebody to conduct a uh, physical background information on the addresses and the persons that they included in the application form, then do it, because you only have yourself to blame if you hired the wrong person. You have to be judicious in hiring um, household help. Conduct security awareness among members of household. Security awareness is they don't always they watch TV, but they skip the security aspect of the news, because the news is always a good source of uh, security situation around your village or around your municipality. The news is always a very good source, and whenever possible, also require their security providers to conduct a security briefing to guards on duty. Before they go on duty, they should be briefed by their commander on the current security trends or security breaches uh, that are included in the police reports of the news. So that is part of the situational awareness. So it is also your responsibility as a homeowner in subdivision or the boss in the house that you have to uh, require the security guards be briefed on the current security situations and ensure adequate personal job security policy because I have observed in my 30 years of responding to uh, what they call as internal. Ang source of the security breach is when the job is not secured before if the employees have doubts and insecurities, that is a vulnerability because somebody will just come in and create a story, and then you will have an internal problem. So ensure adequate personnel job security so that they will not uh, have a mental anguish or psychological uh, insecurity. So the next aspect of home security is information security. Um, First, what are vital family information to be protected? There are so many vital information in the family, in your home, that has to be protected. Number one are vital records that includes birth certificates, passports, marriage certificates, deeds, leases, titles, and certificates of ownerships, and the like. These are vital records because it will reveal your capacity and capability, and it will also reveal your vulnerability for another kind of crime that might happen outside of your home, and that is kidnapping. You will become a target. Financial information, bank account numbers, copies of credit card information. You have to xerox the front and the back of it and have a copy of it in your house because not everybody can memorize their credit card information. Investment data, current income and benefits, mortgages, loans, anything about your financial status, you have to keep it as a secret. Medical information.
Again,
So, medical history of each family member, medical policies,
household equipment.
insurances, prescriptions, list of maintenance meds, details of ongoing medical treatments and conditions are vulnerabilities, especially if you are running a corporation. Somebody might take advantage of it. So these are the vital family information that has to be protected. Vital records, financial information, and medical information. Still part of information security. How do we lose vital information? So you ask yourself, "Oh, how did it leak?" First, this is 95% of the time. 95% of the time, we lose vital information because of inadvertent disclosure. Accidentally or unconsciously, we disclose information that are vital to us. During briefings, during parties, and during intimate moments. Number two, which is usually it's only 3%. 95% is inadvertent disclosure. Second, deliberately stolen by an outsider 3% of the time. Deliberately stolen by an outsider because somebody is interested on your financial status or on your medical status. Number three is deliberately stolen by an insider entrusted with it. So, inside job. That is 2% of the time. Deliberately stolen by an insider entrusted with it. It may be your relative or your kasambahay, household help. Information security, on the third aspect, how do we protect information? So, you already know what information you're going to protect and how it is lost or stolen. So, we now go to the third aspect of the information security, and that is how do we protect information? First, the vault. Very simple. For vital documents, jewelries, guns, cash, and other important items. For the record, a major source of guns for criminals are homeowners with guns, because when they rob you, they also they will also get your gun if it is not secured. So vaults are very important for those who have so many vital documents, jewelries, guns, and cash being, especially during pandemic, most of us stocked some amount of cash in our house because of the lockdown. So you have to secure them. You have to protect them. Financial information. Financial information, don't talk about it with somebody who does not need to know. It is on a need to know basis. So you don't talk about it during dinner because there are many ears around. You don't talk about it uh, when you are with other members of the family, that somebody who is not supposed to hear it will hear it. So it is on need to know basis, including the medical information. It is on need to know basis only. If you have to share it with your family, you have to share it with them in a secured environment that nobody can hear. Information security. Again, electronic and IT-based eavesdropping. Your phones can be used as a listening device. They can also be used as a camera. They can use your phone to uh, to see you. There are some television sets that have cameras. There are some computers that are always on and they have cameras. Somebody can hack into your system and observe you. They can also copy everything that is in your hard drive. Remote copying, electronic and IT-based eavesdropping. Irregular electronic scanning. There are some security institutions who give services like this. They will electronically scan your office, your bedroom, and all parts of the house, so that they can determine if something is transmitting. They can determine that one. And if there are hidden cameras that are transmitting, these groups can determine that. And always, if you have time, always inspect the lines. I know many of us still have landlines, PLDT lines in our houses. We have uh, internet providers that have physical lines, and we have cables, cable providers for cable TV. So always inspect those lines. Somebody might have tapped into it. And to secure your computers, you have to install antivirus and malwares on computers. But if you have so many computers, you can actually install just in one computer, and all memory devices should go through the cleaning in a computer with antivirus and anti-malware. before being used in your household. Install a password on your home Wi-Fi and regularly change it. There are I know of somebody who can hack into your Wi-Fi and prevent you from using your own Wi-Fi because they are going to change the password. And there are devices already that can get your Wi-Fi signal even though they are 500 meters away, because they have these antennas that can directional antennas that can hack into your system. Regular movement of furniture and fixtures. Regular movement of furniture and fixtures, so that if there are devices that are connected in your furnitures, they will be dislodged. So it's like moving them, then you make pagpag sa mga kutson niya so that you can clean them. Not only clean them with the dirt, but clean them with unauthorized devices. And the last, which I have mentioned a while ago, judicious use of the social media. There are so many information that are being posted in the social media, information that can be used by criminals. Like at the moment, our family in Tagaytay and you're living in Valle Verde. So the followers who have criminal minds can determine, aha, they are out of their houses. They are somewhere else. So be very careful on the use of the social media, and also brief your members of the household on the judicious use of social media, because their information can be stolen, their identities can be stolen through the social media. So we have talked about the three: the physical, the personal, and the information security for your homes. And there are the topic of security is very broad, including if you are going to include security once you leave the gate of your house, going to work, that is another aspect of security. Security in the office, corporate security, and how to protect your vital information or the business secrets. That is another topic. But this afternoon, we only talked about home security, and I'm going to share some more on your on miscellaneous information on security, which will eventually also benefit your houses. Review village or subdivision security protocols and contracts. You have to review it. It is your right to see what security protocols are included in the security contract of your subdivision or your house. They might be outdated or worse, onerous in favor of the security provider. You have to review it, because I have reviewed 3 security contracts, and most of them, all of them, the 3 that I reviewed are always in favor of the security provider. The client should be favored, not the security provider. There are some security guards who goes on duty and they are no longer provided with firearms, but it is included in the contract. So it is a breach of contract. Or their firearms, they are on the gate watching over the whole village, but their firearms are defective. So it has to be checked regularly, and it is your right to check them. Take advantage of the numerous messaging platforms, Viber, FB Messenger, etc., and others. They make security dissemination and updates easier. We have that in here in our subdivision in Riviera, Silang, Cavite. We took over the security sector of the subdivision. We organized the security, and we have all their cell phone numbers, all the disseminations, all the security protocols are being disseminated through the Viber, and the residents can read them every day. They are being updated every day. What goes on in the gate? What is how on what street is there a security breach? They are always updated because of uh, an FB Messenger or Viber. So take advantage of that, so that you will always be updated on on the security situation in your subdivision, even though you're away. Take time to join security activities. It lessens security anxiety and increases security awareness. So be involved. In short, be involved in the security activities of your subdivision, because it takes only one household to breach the security protocols for the whole subdivision to be under threat. Conduct a regular security and emergency drill at home, at your in your houses. Always update them. Security and emergency drill. Remember, you cannot perform properly an activity you did not try doing. Um, fire drill, earthquake drill, or breach of security drill. Somebody is banging at the gate. What are you going to do inside the house? Somebody has already opened the main door. What are you going to do inside your room? So what are the security protocols that you have established inside your house? So you have to conduct a regular security and emergency drill at home. There are some police outposts that can do this, or there are some barangays whose BPATs are trained on this, and they can conduct the briefing for you. Always have an emergency number list posted near landline or phone lines. This I always see this on so many houses. But through the years, since no security breach is happening, they forget about this, and it gets outdated. That when the time that they already need to use the number, it is not updated. So go back to it and update your emergency number list posted near your landline or your phone line. Know your neighbors. For your first line of defense, on your front, on your right, on your left, and at the back of your house, your first line of defenses there are your neighbors. So know them by names, and know their phone numbers, so that you can contact them in the middle of the night if you notice something around. In whatever we do, always maintain situational awareness. Before going out of your car, when you reach your house, be situational awareness palagi. Before entering your gate, situational awareness. Be aware of what is around you. What is around you? Who is around your car? There might be somebody lurking in the dark, just waiting for the gates to open and go inside with you. Situational awareness always. And even when you are already inside the compound, before you get out of the car, again, situational awareness. And also teach your family members how to do this. And in closing, do not take it upon yourself only. Security is everybody's concern. And security is always dynamic. After this lecture, some of the portions of my lecture must be updated or will already be outdated, because security is always dynamic. When you thought you know all the answers, they will change all the questions. That is how they succeed as criminals. So, gentlemen and ladies, thank you very much for this opportunity, for sharing with you my experience and the ones that I researched through my 30 years of in the military career. And I have just come from the places that I helped secure. and it has already bear some fruits. The ones places that cannot be reached by vehicle, there is now a very big and world-class resort at the foot of Mount Apo. So I'm very proud that with our efforts did not go for naught. Thank you, gentlemen and ladies, and kaisa niyo po ako sa inyong mga layunin sa inyong mga mapagkawang gawa na mga misyon. Salamat po.
Thank you very much, Colonel, for that very insightful discussion. We now want to open the floor for questions that may be raised by the attendees. So please look at your chat button and post your questions there if you have any. I'm looking at the questions here and I haven't seen any yet. But perhaps, Colonel, if I may raise the first question. Um, in the US, there is a system for calling in case you need protection, and that is the 911 system. We don't seem to have that in the Philippines, and I think that is one main reason why help cannot be obtained right away. What what is your thinking about adopting a plan similar to the 911 system of the US? Thank
I
you.
think not every community has that 911 thing. There are some municipalities and some police stations that are equipped with that kind of system. But for our in the part of the armed forces, usually we go to communities that do not have a very good communication system, so we install radios. And by sector, we divide the communities by sector, and we provide the radios that have direct contact with our detachments, and we also have direct contact with the Philippine National Police. So since the radio that the Philippine National Police are not compatible with the radios that we use and the radios that we distribute to the civilians, we also provide them with radios that are compatible with us. So if within the subdivision you like to create a network like that, you take advantage of the uh, social media platform, the Viber, WeChat. Here in Riviera, we have already devised, since we don't, not everybody has landlines. We already devised a group. We already organized a group on Viber that that can be used when you want to ask for help involving security. So if the municipality cannot provide you, or the local police cannot provide you with a direct line like the ones in the US, then the subdivision actually can organize themselves and have a direct contact with the guard posts through the use of social media or the phones, and then the homeowners can have a direct contact with the nearest police outpost or military outpost, so that they can be updated when something happens. So that is why I was encouraging everybody that on the last uh, slide, that the security is everybody's concern. We cannot just leave it to somebody else and go on with it. We have to be involved in the security aspect and securing our villages and our homes.
Thank you. I have a question here from one of our participants. Let me read it. It says, may I raise the question to the need for our security? Do you think our constitution needs to add the right to bear arms?
I have heard that not a question but a recommendation before, and we just need somebody to sponsor it. You know, sa Congress and the Senate, because first and foremost, the first line of defense of our homes are us, because the police will be minutes or hours away. So you really have to defend your castle. So they say a man is king in his castle. So you have to defend it, and the Constitution has not provided us with that provision that we have the right to protect ourselves. So I think, and I really am pro for the possession of firearms for responsible citizens.
Thank you. We would like to encourage other participants to raise a question. I trying to take a look at the list here. I don't seem to have the list. Let me see. Uh, can the Secretariat please assist me if there are questions that are being raised that we've not been able to see? Okay. Looks like I don't have any more questions to be asked, Colonel. So we would like to thank you very much for your talk. That is really very informative. And we will keep in mind the advices that you've given us. At this point, I'd like to call on our President, Peter Manzano, for the response. President Peter.
Thank you, PP Fred. RCMAC members are familiar with the color code white, yellow, orange, and red, developed by handgun expert Jeff Cooper in the 1980s to describe what he called the combat mindset. In white, there is no perceived danger and you are neither prepared nor ready to take any action to protect yourself. So if you are attacked, you will probably get hurt or die. In yellow, you bring yourself to the understanding that your life may be in danger and that you may have to do something about it. In orange, you have determined a specific adversary and you are prepared to take action to defend yourself and disable your adversary. And in red, you are in lethal mode and will take out your adversary if circumstances warrant. Cooper advocated remaining in code yellow at all times, to have an understanding of our environment, and to be ready to respond to protect ourselves and those around us. The problem is we can't be on code yellow at all times. It will take a toll on us psychologically. It will rob us of our peace of mind and the ability to relax and enjoy ourselves. Yet there is something we can do, at least when it comes to securing our homes and our loved ones, especially during this pandemic. While the crime index reportedly declined during the pandemic due to travel restrictions, we still hear news of homes in villages, both in Metro Manila and in the provinces, that are victims of the Akyat Bahay gang, the most recent of which was a house in 4th Estate, San Antonio, Parañaque, that was robbed last February 13. We need to rubber-proof our homes. Our speaker gave us some practical tips on how to secure our homes and our families, like reviewing village or subdivision security protocols, taking advantage of the numerous messaging platforms, Viber, Facebook, Messenger, where security updates are easily disseminated, taking time to join security activities which lessens security anxiety and increases security awareness, conducting a regular security and emergency drill at home, knowing our neighbors, and making sure that all the possible entrances to our houses are secured, that all locks to our gates, doors, and windows are working. Other practical tips include having a house sitter or trusted individual or a friend to take care of the house if we are going on a vacation, or leaving a night light on, as this is another way to ward off burglars. or briefing our household helpers, house sitters, on emergency numbers and people who might call. This is to avoid getting calls from the Dugo gang members and also for them to be able to access you whenever there is an emergency. And telling the guards that we are leaving if we are going away for a long period of time. This way we can patrol our house, they can patrol our house more, and don't forget to give them generous tips once in a while. 9 years ago, our club hosted former Hagibis member Sonny Parsons in 2002, who shared to us his traumatic experience and how he defended his home and his family from robbers who used the Salisi modus by sneaking into his home premises as soon as the gates were open as he was going inside the compound on board his motor vehicle. It is worth remembering what he said then as it remains relevant these days. Be aware of your surroundings and the possible dangers to yourself and to your loved ones at all times. This is the situational awareness which our speaker was referring to earlier. Next week, we might find ourselves in a more relaxed environment as people will start going out again with the entire nation possibly going on MGCQ starting March 1 as recommended by the IATF and the Metro Manila mayors. But before we do that, let's secure our homes and our loved ones. And once we step out of the comforts of our homes, let's be on code yellow. Not to be paranoid, but to be aware and understand that our lives may be in danger and that we may have to do something to protect ourselves and our loved ones. As we say in RCMAC, forewarned is forearmed. Thank you, Colonel Noel Detoyato, for sharing with us your time and your valuable insights on how we can secure our homes and families during the pandemic. On behalf of the Rotary Club of Makati, our lovely aunts, our district governor, Chacha Camacho, the other Rotarians from the different Rotary clubs in our district, especially to my classmates, the perfect bishop presidents, our Rotaractors, and all the other guests in attendance, please accept our heartfelt gratitude for taking time and sharing with us your insights. And as tokens of our appreciation for your time and service, we shall be giving you a copy of our 50th anniversary coffee table book, which contains our club's 50 years of community service and fellowship, together with a bottle of red wine to enjoy while going through the pages of our book. Thank you again, Colonel Tunes.
Thank you, President Peter. Uh, I think we've come to the point where you would like to adjourn this meeting.
No. We'll take our photo first, PB Fred.
Okay, you're right. You're right. Forgot that. So again, we'd like to remind everyone to please turn on your cameras and give your uh, best smile for the group photo opportunity.
They mean by turn on your cameras? What do they mean by turn on your cameras? Oh. Naka-on naman kayo. Okay. Okay.
Thank you everyone for coming. This meeting is adjourned.
Thank you.
Thank you.